At CNH Industrial Reman, we're dedicated to following best practices in continuous improvement, giving us the edge over the competition and providing peace of mind for our customers. From core to completion, our meticulous remanufacturing process includes utilizing state-of-the-art tools and equipment to clean, repair, replace, and test parts to the latest OEM specifications. CNH Industrial Reman's rotating electrical facility is committed to producing only the highest level of quality starters for our customers. We begin the remanufacturing process with starters that have already served time in the field and are ready to be reborn. The starters are completely disassembled and inspected for any obvious damage, such as burnt components or broken pieces, which are scrapped. As operators disassemble the units, they are guided by digital work instructions that identify which components to discard, like bearings, bushings, springs, and small fasteners. These will be replaced with 100% new components further down the reman process. After disassembly, components such as housings are sent through a 3-stage washing process to remove oil, dirt, and debris. They are then inspected for damage to threads and cracks, which if found, will result in the component being discarded. Housings that pass inspection are put into a shot blaster to finish off the cleaning process. Gauges are used to check any bearing bores in the housings to ensure a tight and proper fit of the new bearings. Housings that do not pass the gauge are scrapped, and those made of steel or cast iron are finished off with a coating of a rust preventative to protect them from the elements. Armatures are inspected for major damage, such as burnt windings and damaged commutators. Shafts are checked with calibrated gauges to measure for excessive wear. The units are then put into a hot water, high-pressure wash cabinet to remove grease and brush dust from the armature, then sent through an industrial oven to dry any residual water. Next, the armatures are placed into an automated varnish machine. This machine preheats the units to 200 degrees, then rolls them into a high-bond varnish solution that coats the windings. Preheating the armature allows the varnish to work deep into the small areas of the windings to help re-insulate them and protect them from the elements. Armatures are then checked for shaft straightness. Bent shafts can lead to premature bushing and bearing failures, or worse, even rub on other components inside the starter, causing other problems. If bent, the shaft will be straightened or replaced. Next, the armatures are sent into a lathe, and the commutators are machined to remove any varnish and renew the surface, helping ensure proper brush contact. They are also undercut to remove any material between the commutator bars that might cause a short or expose a lead to excessive brush wear. Shafts are polished to a smooth finish. Armatures are then verified electronically to determine torque and power capabilities. They are also tested one last time for any shorts in the windings before being sent to the assembly area. In another section of the plant, starter drives are completely disassembled and components such as caps, springs, and rollers are scrapped to be replaced with 100% new. The remaining components are washed to remove dirt and grease. Drive parts are sandblasted to remove any rust, then coated with a rust preventative. Next, the pinion gear race is checked with a calibrated go-no-go gauge to ensure it's within established tolerances. All undersized pinion race gears are scrapped. The pinion gear is then placed into a lathe, and the bearing race surface is polished to guarantee a smooth surface. It is examined once again to ensure it is within diameter tolerance. All new springs and rollers are inserted, and low-temp, high-heat grease is applied. The pinions are then installed. To complete the drive remanufacturing process, a new cap is set and mounted in a crimping machine, which tightly secures the cap onto the drive body. After the drives are assembled, they undergo a torque test that checks the pinion under an 80 foot-pound torque load, ensuring the drives will not slip under a load. Field coils are inspected for any burnt or major damage to windings that are beyond repair. If so, they are scrapped. Coils with minor damage to the insulation area are repaired with insulation tape. Field coils are electrically checked for shorts and tested for magnetic strength that meets or exceeds OEM specifications. They are then coated with an insulating varnish and dried in an industrial oven to help protect the windings from shorting out in the starter. Once dry, the field coil assemblies are set into field case housings. New screws are inset and torqued to exact OEM specifications. Worn brushes, springs, and ground leads are replaced with new ones. All brush rack assemblies will receive new springs and brushes. Once the field case assembly is completed, operators perform one last electrical test for shorts before sending to the final assembly area. In preparation for final assembly, the starter housings require special tooling and presses for all bushing and bearing installations. Bushings are sized with a roller burnisher and checked with a calibrated go, no-go gauge to ensure correct fit within the armature shaft. Now the starters are ready for final assembly. At this point, all the component parts are kitted together and delivered to the final assembly area. As with all workstations, trained operators follow illustrated step-by-step instructions on digital displays in the final assembly area. Included in these instructions are strict torque specifications for every fastener, which our operators can achieve with precision because our torque wrenches are verified on calibrated torque testers twice daily. After starters are assembled, they are tested on industry-leading test machines to guarantee they meet or exceed OEM specifications for power and torque. Once the Reman starters pass their final test, performance test sheets and installation instructions are printed and packaged with the units and are ready for shipment to dealerships. CNH Industrial Reman starters are the best in the business because of our world-class remanufacturing process. Quality is built into the product before a Reman part is even brought to market. Our engineering teams use custom-built life test machines to test the process and quality of all new remanufactured part numbers, both in their entirety and at the component level. Starters are tested to 1,800 crank cycles, the equivalent of a year's worth of rigorous use, which allows us to identify and solve a weakness in the product or the process. All of this is done even before we produce a part number to sell en masse. CNH Industrial Remanufactured products often have longer working lives than the products they replace. That's because the Reman process includes engineering revisions and improvements incorporated into them after the original release. A superior standard of quality sets our Reman starters apart from the competition. Our state-of-the-art techniques and unequaled quality control are built into every step, giving dealerships and customers true peace of mind. Today, there are more reasons than ever to choose remanufactured starters from CNH Industrial Reman.